I'm going to dissect the Neato. You're going to sit down like a good boy and watch. So I've already got the rug plate part here. This was easy. This just comes off, and this comes off with it, the spinning thing and side brush. But there was filth under the squeegee and these wheels, so I went ahead and just pulled the screws for them and was working it, getting all the filth off, and then I realized, oh, hey, I ain't done nothing here in a while, so I figured I might as well. So these are all clean, so I'm gonna snap these back together where they belong. Try not to sneeze. And howdy, David. And put this back in here. These wheels go in, and then the squeegee goes on with the four. These are all T10s. There are 2 Phillips, but we'll worry about those when we come to them. So the squeegee, wow, it's clean. So we'll put it back together. There. 4 T10 screws. This one I'm actually going to chuck in the drill, and this has met some liquid at some point in its life. And so if you're not one of them fancy schmucks with a lathe, which I am ashamed to say I'm no longer part of that crowd, you can chuck your screws in a drill, because the chuck won't bite down on the threads too hard unless you're biting it down on like brass or copper or something. But if you're doing that, I would hope that you're smart enough to know that it's going to mar your threads, but it's not going to bite down too hard on that. So we'll set this to high for one, would be preferable. Just a little piece of sandpaper, and we'll get all that rust off of this screw, just to make it not look hideous. If I had butane, I'd blue it and just be done here and there, but that's a problem for future me to worry about. So now these are kind of obnoxious to get into, and we're repairing this today. The side brush. She don't spin him a thing no more. There's no Verky. No Verky. So put those back in, set this back to low, and I'm going to set my chuck down too. Clutch down too, excuse me. I'm going to set it down so I don't just spin the life out of these screws. Especially when you're playing with power tools, you gotta kind of set them down. That's still a little too high for my liking. Let's set it down to 5. You want to have some torque. You never tighten plastic. You snug plastic. You don't tighten plastic. You never do. Else you spin the living daylight out of your screws and they ain't gonna hold no more, and you can Band-Aid repair things like that, but why would you want it? Just do it right the first time you fell get. So that's still too high. Set it down to 3 now. Still too high. Basically, this is what a drill chuck does. That's what the clutch does. It doesn't let your... It gets to a certain torque, and it won't spin anymore. That's what a clutch does. So, for loosening things, for breaking them off, I don't set the clutch. I have it set to where it's just direct drive. Set that aside, set that aside. We can worry about that later. We can clean this later. We'll put him over there. There's filth in here. We'll worry about that in a minute. I'm not too worried about cleaning this out too much because we'll make him suck up his own mess. So this is from a prior run. This is the D7. The D7 was the top of the line until the D8 and D9 and D10, which still haven't come out yet, happened. So this was the best you can get. The LiDAR cover just pulls off like that. We'll throw him over there, and I'll retrieve it later. So what will fix my issues, which I have probably already lost, is a small package of belts, which are somewhere. And you don't have to order specifically Neato belts, because I know the spinning the thing, the side brush, is a real common issue on these. And so The size of O-ring you need is a number 33. You don't have to have the special Neato brand Chinesium O-ring. You can just use a number 3 O-ring because that's what they are. They're O-rings. They're not belts, they're O-rings. So, and of course, now that I need them, I've lost them because, of course, that happened. Because, of course. So, I'm just going to go grab another 33 O-ring. I've got one somewhere. And of course, as usual, Harbor Freight did not save me. So, I get to dig for a package of O-rings. Yay! In the middle of a live stream. Woohoo! There they are. It was Thomas's fault. Thomas hid them from me. He's not even here, but I'm going to blame him anyway. So, I customized this little extension here. This is, I don't even remember the size anymore. It's just a little extension, for your handheld screwdrivers and whatnot. And see, Neatos are annoying because Neatos have these really deep holes with a really small diameter. So, it's very difficult to get anything to fit inside of them. So I took this and I pseudo turned it, for lack of a better term. I basically just took that and kissed it with a file while it was spinning the thing and in the drill. So that should give us enough, and we'll take this battery out. A lot of people have difficulty with these batteries. You just got to get in there and push this little clip and it comes out. Never pull on wires. Don't be that person. Don't pull on your wires. You know better. Come on. Don't disappoint me now. So, screw. Screw. There's none in there. Screw. 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 You can see what I was talking about really deep, obnoxious holes. Look how far down that goes in. And it still hasn't even touched anything yet. There we go. Sounds like we nabbed it. Willie, come on out. Little violence never hurt nobody. He will not come on out. He's going to fight. He wants to argue. I'll argue with him. What happened here? Where did he go? Where did he go? Where did he go? I can't see him no more. Okay. I'll just break that stand off, see if I care. Then this comes off. And the bumper, fine. Then there's more screws because, of course, there's more screws. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more. I'm just going to try and grab that with my hands. No, that's not going to happen. Pliers, pliers, pliers! Who took my damn pliers? Where are my pliers? Where are my pliers? Give me my pliers. Thank you, helpful assistant, which is me. I'm just going to gently bite onto this. It's a hex. I don't know the size. I'm not going to hunt the size down. So we'll just bite that, pull that, put that there. And then top side, again, shiny side up, we got 2 more here and another one over here. These little buttons are annoying because if you don't watch them, you can flick them off, and there's a spring underneath them that holds everything onto the button, and so they're annoying. But the older ones were worse. So then we push on this, and that should come forward like that, and voila, bye. Now we're in the meat of her, and we can see here, this the lidar turret, that's the belt right there, and that little red thing, which apparently the computer can't see. I'm just going to replace it for good measure. We'll just pull it off and set it aside because I've got a new one right here. We'll just do it upright. This one's a bit of an older, it's not ancient, but it's older. So we'll just refresh it just to be, we'll be good boys this time. We'll just be good boys. So I'll slip that around. If you got an O-ring hook, use it because it's kind of obnoxious, but it's just like changing any other belt. Slide it around its pulley, and then I'm going to try to force it down into its track because it's not going to jump that. That's got a pretty good channel on it. The track is in the bottom of it, that it's supposed to ride on. And it's very obnoxious to get this into. I've done this before, and these are annoying. So just kind of pull it into that channel there, like so. Try not to snap the thing. It is just a chintzy silicone. So we'll just pull that in there, get that on its track, which I've still missed this one side here. Where's my flat-headed screwdriver? I'll just kind of push it in to that little channel there. Where's my screwdriver? Why is everything fucking missing? There. And we'll just give it a little nudge into that channel. It'll just squish right in. You don't really worry about breaking it. And so, did I miss the channel? For real? Did I? Did I really miss the channel? I did too, didn't I? Didn't I? Oh, I did. Oh, you're a turd. Oh, you're a turd. You're a bitch. Come on. Don't ever get mad at what you're working on. Don't get mad at it. Cuss at it. Works every time. What am I missing? That should spin freely like that. Well, there's nothing wrong with making mistakes as long as you learn from them. If you don't learn from them, then you're not just making mistakes, you're stupid. And oh, it's a different belt. Aha! They sent me the wrong belt. Okay, so I wasn't just freaking out. Cool. So yeah, this is the correct one. That's for a different model. Okay, so they sent me the wrong one. However, the O-ring for the side brush should still be identical. So yeah, thanks eBay. That is awesome of whoever did that. That's terrific. So we'll try and just fight this back into the channel in which it goes. This one I'm worried about because this is thin. This is chintzy. feel like I'm going to snap it any moment, and then I'm going to have to order a new one. How to make yourself look stupid on the internet in 101. You guys are getting a free class. Okay, there it is. It's back. Cool. So, I guess I won't be replacing that belt, but I still have to get to this one. Now, I know on newer ones, the screws are tamper resistant. Why? I don't know. But the new tamper resistant screws, I genuinely don't know why they did that. This one, fortunately, is an older one. It doesn't have those tamper resistant screws in it. But man, I don't understand why you need to have tamper-resistant screws in a vacuum cleaner. Like, what am I doing? Reverse engineering their stuff? I gotta kind of tone my language down because this ain't my channel, it's Thomas's. So, I used to get, people used to jump me all the time for my language, but here's the deal. If I don't want to cuss, I don't cuss. It's easy. It's like a switch. Anyway, so from what I can tell, this board's got to come out. And I've worked on computers since I cut my teeth. So this is right up my alley. Once again, we never, ever, ever, never pull on wires. Pull on your connector. If you can't get to your connector, get something to pull on your connector. Don't ever pull the wires. Never pull the wires. I forbid you from pulling the wires. You know better. You know better. I'm looking at you. Yes, you. Why are you even still here? It's past your bedtime. Anyway. Hola, Tomas.
Hey.
I'm on your channel.
Why?
I'm doing stupid stuff on your channel.
Uh-oh. What kind of stupid stuff?
Very stupid stuff. The stupid stuff you do not approve of. Because you're anti-stupid stuff.
So, seriously, you're just fucking with me?
Well, you just swore on your own channel, so I guess the rule is now gone.
What rule?
The rule of no swearing on your channel.
Oh.
Dude, we're live. Look at your channel. I'm live.
No.
Yeah, that's why I asked what the password to the channel was. I'm using the computer that doesn't have carpet vision webcam.
Oh.
I'm ripping into that Neato D7 because I've got to replace that O-ring that drives the stupid thing that flings things everywhere. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just forbade our viewers from from pulling on wires. I'm not going to forbid them from swearing. They've obviously never met me in person. But anyway, so no, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to rip into this and get that replaced.
Awesome.
Anyway, no, I went on a big old rant about how these are not like the some of the newer ones, Tom. They have tamper resistant torque screws, and I don't get why. Like, I mean, this is just a regular Torx, but the old ones are tamper resistant. The newer ones, excuse me, are tamper resistant. Why? Why do you need to have tamper resistant T10 screws in a vacuum cleaner, buddy? Anyway. Fortunately, my computer expertise will save us here. So that board should lift now. And I shouldn't have to disconnect every single wire here. I should be able just to lift the board and move it out of the way. It looks like it clips in kind of in that area there. So we'll pull that, and then that should come right out there. That's a routing slot there, and it should lift. I might have to unzip tie these. I don't want to. If I can force them apart, then I will. Or if I can just get it out of my way enough to get to this motor, which I'm pretty sure I already have. Set that sensor aside. Glued in ribbon cable. Yay. All right, buddy. Well, feel free to watch me do stupid stuff on your channel. Bye. How to dodge a call 101. So, I will give credit where credit is due. All of the screws in here are identical. Like, I don't have to keep them all separated like one has to for, like, say, a normal piece of hardware. Like, this all just separates. I don't know what this is. What is it? UE, side brush, some kind of sensor. We'll be sure to be at least somewhat careful with it. We'll pretend to be careful with it. And then our side brush thing comes right out. See how slippery that... Yeah, that's pretty loose. That's pretty slippery. So we'll take him, set him there, and then we got our new O-ring here. Make sure it fits the groove. It does. Okay, yeah, this will be perfect. So put that there. Another thing I like here is that they decided to use a brass a brass pulley instead of a oh yeah, that's much tighter. That's better. Okay, so yeah, they decided to use a brass pulley instead of a plastic pulley like they did for the later. So more props to Neato for that. Okay, I know what this is. This is a Hall effect sensor. Okay, well, not really a Hall effect sensor. Yeah, it's damn it, it's an optical tachometer. Okay, so let me pull this out again so I can explain this. We'll pull that belt off again. See how this here has that white thing there? As this is spinning the thing, and this white part here passes by a sensor, what that reads it, and that's how it knows how fast the side brush is spinning the thing. So that's very smart of them, an optical tachometer, what to tell the machine if it's stopped or not, rather than just keep running the motor and shredding that O-ring. So that's smart. Very smart indeed. We'll move that into the hole where it belongs. There. Take that, that's the sensor. This sensor goes in the side here, right there. We'll worry about him in a moment. Get that tachometer back on where it belongs, right there. It's keyed, so it's idiot-proof. But as the saying goes, you can make something idiot-proof, the world will invent a better idiot. So I would imagine somebody out there, some genius, is going to have already figured out how to break that. Set my clutch all the way down. See? See? No spinning a thing and no more. And it's still good and tight. So, yeah, you can see this O-ring, it's... Bye. So now we got to just screw the thing back down in. Okay, so we'll put our board back in its keyway there. Route that back where it belongs, which is right there. Anyway, you gotta really be mindful of the buttons on a Neato, because the buttons here, they have more than one role. They aren't for just like oh, what's the word? They aren't here just for bump detection. They also play key roles in, you know, resetting the robot and things like that. These are all going to be very easy to plug back in because you can't fit around. You can't put a square peg in a round hole. So these are all going to be pretty easy to put back in. Let's get that screw back in this board. That way I don't flex it too much and bust something as usual. I mean, it wouldn't be a project of mine had I not broke anything. So these wires here. Very tight cable management in here. I dig it. I like that a lot, actually. Cable management is always a good thing to have. What I don't like is how much tension there is on the connections. It would be... I'm sure it's not a bad thing in this application because it'll probably hold together against, you know, the vibration of the brush roll and whatnot, but I would still feel more comfortable if there were just a little bit more slack on these connectors, because once again, say it with me, class, we don't pull on wires. So we'll push all these back down in where they go. We're not pulling on these, we're pushing on them now. So we'll push them back down into their channel there. I'm going to use just the tip of this screwdriver. I don't have to worry too much about this screwdriver because I've intentionally blunted it. It's not sharp. It's not sharp at all. So you couldn't even cut yourself with this if you tried. So basically, I just took a file, kissed it, and blunted everything to where it's not going to cut into anything like this kind of delicate insulation here. It's not that delicate. It's not going to... You can't look at it wrong and it break, basically. So it's not too terrible, but still, you still just in general want to be careful with things. And if you ain't got the right tool for the job, make one. So we'll put this back into where it belongs before we route it again into its little cable management system. This would help if I had eyes. This is one of those stupid connectors that you've got to pull up. It's not like I'm not really sure the nomenclature for every single ribbon cable connection there is. So don't at me, but this one is one of the ones that pull up. So you got to be kind of not rough with it, and you can't just you can't just push it back in. Like, it's got to have that connection unlocked for you to slide the ribbon back in, which I will do now. Again, this would help if I had eyes there. Perfect-ish. So stick that sensor back in, put that wire back down where it goes, and then get everybody stuffed back in that channel, ribbon cable included. Newer ribbon cables aren't as delicate as older ribbon cables, and not just in this specific family of machine. No, ribbon cables in general. This isn't 1988. Like, it's not just going to snap like a potato chip. You don't have to be super delicate with it, but you do have to be cautious because you can still break it. You can break anything if you got enough skill, but I, for one, have a degree in breaking things. So, again, with our fancy-dancy tight cable management, seems like they spent more money on cable management than they did. I mean, it's pretty robust, but it's not the best. It's not the ultimate unbreakable Nintendo DS plastic or whatever, which could survive everything except an angry parent throwing it at the wall. So Now that's routed back where it belongs, and then everything else needs plugged in. We got to plug this ribbon back into where it goes here. And these are the easier ones what to plug a ribbon into, because these are the same connection as that, but these are vertical mount. So they go that way instead of this way, so it's much easier. So stuff that one back in, lock it down, and then rinse and repeat for the other side. Okay, that's good and in there. That's not going nowhere. Tension does not mean you have it right. It just because it's tense doesn't mean you done it right. You got to check, and check again and make sure your work is good and proper, else it ain't going to function. So I'm going to push that back in where it goes because we don't want that in the standoff there. Speaking of standoffs, I guess I did get that one screw out. Did it stay with this? No. Well, we'll find it. After all, having stuff left over from a project you're working on does not mean you're bad at working on stuff. It simply means you did it better than the factory did. So now that this is all done, I'm going to set this back on because there's nothing else I need to do in here. Everything in here is pretty well clean. I could take off the LiDAR right quick. You know what? This is a dissection. Let's do it. Let's just take this off. We'll lift it up and out of the way. I feel like these are shock mounts, aren't they? Where do they go? Where do they go? Where do they go? Where do they go? Well, I guess we did it better than the factory. Bye. We'll go ahead and just lift this off. It's 4 screws to take the LiDAR off. I'm gonna try not to unplug things. I just want to lift it to the side. Because of all the videos of Neatos I have seen, nobody has shown the fan. So, set those aside again. It's identical to everything else. And I guess I do have to unplug some wires now, don't I? But I'm only going to have to do these two right here to get that delay over like that. This is the LiDAR turret. We don't need anything to do with that. We're after some meat with our potatoes, okay? So this here pushes out, just like so, and that gives you room to get the fan out of here. There's a steel weight right here, what that's helping this thing stay down. It's funny because the Botvac D series, which I've got elsewhere, which has a terrible battery in it that isn't even original, and it's nickel metal hydride in that, instead of a good lithium-ion battery, what that you find in literally everything nowadays. So it's going to need a new battery, among other things, but it's got another weight right here instead of just one. But this one here is a bigger weight, so whatever. They've got their reasons. So here's the fan. This is the fan. It's a fan. It does fan things. It's basically just a computer fan. That's all it really is. There's nothing special to it. If it needed cleaned, I'd have cleaned it. Everything in here is pretty well spotless. So we'll set that back in, where it belongs this time. Like so. Stuff the wires where they go. Lay our turret back over, plug the wires in. Not in that order. I'm going to screw it down first, and then I'll mess with the wires. So I actually have something to push against this time. Not that hole. That hole. That's the hole. I did a wrong thing. I smushed a wire. They'll still be okay. They're not that delicate. The reason you don't want to pull on them, though, is because if you pull on them, you're liable to pull the wires out of the actual connector itself, what that's supposed to be plugged in. And if you do that, for one, you're an idiot because I told you not to pull on wires. And for two, unless you're some kind of electrical engineer, you're not going to be able to get that back together. Like it's pretty much toast, and you're going to have to replace a wire, God forbid, an entire assembly. So never pull on wires. Once again, I can't get enough of saying that. Don't pull on wires. I mean, I'm not your dad, but push that out once again, lift that just enough, get that wire out of there, and put it back together proper this time. Yeah, I can just see the comments now. Boy, this guy is dumb. Okay then, that's done. There's nothing more for us to do, so we'll put that back on. I'm not really energetic enough right now to go exploring the rest of it, so we'll just snap everything together where it belongs and call that good for tonight. Remember, if you repair robot vacuums, you'll be spared during the robot apocalypse when Skynet takes over. So, save the robots. Come on. Thank you. Oh, I saw something jump out at me. Whatever. I must be seeing things. It's that glaucoma medication again. No, something really ain't right. Let's set the clutch up a little more. Yeah, no, they weren't tightening. I guess I didn't sand this enough, grind it enough. I can do that later. I was too worried about finishing it. Finishing it as in polishing it. Because, yeah, that's not going to work. Set our clutch back. Because the better finish you have on metal, the less likely they are to corrode. So if you get this to a real shiny sheen, the less likely it is to rust. Because this was oxidized. It wasn't oxidized, it was blued, which is a type of oxidization. But basically, get in there. Basically, bluing consists, man, it just will not, will it? Bluing consists of, you build up an oxide on the metal, and the oxide on the metal is porous. And so what happens is you take that oxide and you get it real hot, and you burn oil into it. You burn a layer of oil into the oxide, and that will give you rust protection. Makes things rust proof. But I'm gonna have to kiss this more with this file and get it skinny enough that I can actually get that in there, because I don't have the proper tool and I ain't about to buy it. So high speed, please. Thank you. That should be good enough. Let's see. No, it melted a layer of plastic onto it. Oh well, at least it works somewhat. Beats nothing. So get that screw back in finally. Okay, finally, it's in. Thank God. The sooner I finish this up, the sooner I can go to bed. Okay, I guess I did finally get it there. So, now then, there are a grand total 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 left. Should be 4 left. Just my luck. There will be many more than 4 left. Set our chuck down. This here goes into this. Yeah. If you have trouble getting a screw to start as well, turn it backwards until it clicks. Of course, I just had to get the magnetic one. Come on. Because the reason being, when you do that, you're lining up the threads. Finish my thought. Come on, thank you. Now then, we're uh-oh. Well, would you know it? We did it better than the factory. I think I may have moved them up. Yeah, I did. Okay, we're safe. We're good. Moved them up here. So, I don't know why I did, but I did. Really? There we go. Preferably put this on the right way. Okay, every button pushes. Then grab that, and this. And plug our battery back in. Where it goes. This back on where it goes. So anyway, once we get this back together, we will give it a shot. It should come out functioning as normal, God willing. Rug plate, side brush. Get on there. Get on there. Line up. Come on. Thank you. There. Okay then. That's on. Light our hood. Get it on. And finally, our bin. Man, it did pick up quite a bit of stuff, too. Preferably put that on the right way. And now for our moment of truth. Let it turn on, think about what it's done, and then try it and see if the little side brush is spinning the thing in again. So now we wait. And wait, and wait, and wait, and wait. You gotta give it the power. There. It has awoken. Then we wait on our lighty lights to come on. We're going to turn him on spot just so he doesn't go nowhere. And watch the spin of the thing. Hey! It lives! Well, that means we did everything right. So, go to bed. It's past your bedtime. Bye.